All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson. Lord's will, this is edifying to the Lord's delight. You know, we got a lot of things going on in the world right now. Off the top of my head, you got an attempted of assassination in Mar-a-Lago. I guess some dude tried to hop the gate, and the dude put his ass to death or something like that. And then you got those Mexicans getting rowdy at the border. Okay, what they're saying could spill off into America because they pretty much helped the Mexican government with information on the cartel. So, you know, anyone can get it at this point, you know. And you know, when you look at these cartel members, they're you know, they're fully equipped. You know, they actually look more equipped than the actual military that they're fighting up against. They already killed 25 National Guard members. You know, so I mean, the National Guard, you know, they shouldn't be fighting up against the military, but you know, yet they find themselves in a position like that, and those cartel members are putting them to death. And there's some men out here, you know, in America, you know, that are trained just like that to put your ass to death too. So when shit kicks off over here too, you gotta beware of these things, man. Okay? Some people don't mind chopping your head off in the middle of everybody, man. So, you know, you gotta these are the type of things that are gonna happen. Let me start off in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. And, you know, we always say, you know, that's in the far country. You know, you look at Iran, you look at Ukraine, you look at, you know, what's going on all across the world. You might look at Yemen, you might look at the Middle East and think, thank God I'm not over there, but eventually it's going to come over here. And you're going to be saying the same thing. People are going to say, I wish I wasn't over here. They're going to be in Afghanistan looking like, damn, I'm glad I'm over here. The Taliban going to be mocking you in that time, man. They're like, damn, it wasn't never that bad over here. That's what it means, that this place is going to be like a hissing. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. I'll start at the top. It says, the time of Jacob's trouble, the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, Yahweh, saying, thus speaketh the Lord God of Israel, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. That's right, write to thee all the words that I have spoken into thee in a book. So that also shows you what? That the Jeremiah wasn't just writing things down what he felt like, because, you know, he wanted to keep a little journal about his life and little things he went through, man. Now the Lord inspired him to write these things, just like the rest of these books. This is inspirational, the inspiration of the Lord. As a matter of fact, let me write that precept where it tells you the scriptures are no private interpretation. The scriptures are not private interpretation, KJV. Oh, they didn't get it. I think it's in Peter, but I can't remember where it's at. Interpretation. Yeah, 2 Peter 1, verse 20. It says, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. So if the scriptures are not privately interpreted, meaning Jeremiah didn't just come with this off of his own mind, or the way you interpret what's written isn't based on how you feel and that's your interpretation of the scriptures. No, the Lord wrote it specifically like that, ultimately for his elect. So a lot of y'all, you're not going to get it anyway, so it's a waste of time for you to get it. And, you know, when you read 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter, it says the spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. So the prophets are back here on the scene today, and they're supposed to get it. That's why we always mention about the 144,000 and the remnant. That's who needs to hear this word. This isn't the interpretation, my own interpretation of the scriptures. Okay, so 2 Peter 1, verse 21. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of God spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit. So he was moved by the Holy Spirit to write this down. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse number 3. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh. The Lord's name is Yahweh, not God, not Jehovah. It's Yahweh, all right? That's the Most High God, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai, who the ignorant Haitian man calls Jesus Christ. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 3, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah. So he'll bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah. Now, if you read that verbatim, you might think that's saying that we're going to go back into slavery. But that ain't talking about us going back into slavery. That's talking about him reversing the fact that we're in slavery today. Just like it tells you in the book of Baruch, chapter 3. Let me grab it. We're still in captivity still to this day, Israel and Judah. Why he didn't just say all Israelites? Because there was a split. And if you don't understand the words, the way it's being worded, is because you need to study. Even though Israel and Judah are all Israelites, but it's talking about the two kingdoms that got separated after King Solomon, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Let me see if I can grab it. Baruch chapter 3, verse 8 real quick. So he's going to turn back our captivity. You know, I'm going to have to just grab it out my sword because my apocrypha is all ripped up, and in order to maintain it, I gotta do too much. Let me grab it out of my sword. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers which departed from the Lord our God. So that's telling us that we're still in captivity until this day. Okay, and we're subject to payments. That's how you know you're still in captivity, because you still have to pay tribute to Babylon the Great. You got to pay your taxes. You know, who do you think you're paying? You're paying the so-called white man. But you still got your ass in slavery. We should have been paying this nigga a dime. If anything, he should be paying us, and he will. And he gonna pay us with his blood. Because according to Numbers 35 and 33, he defiled the land with our blood. So in order to cleanse that blood, his blood needs to be shed. And that time is coming. That's the big payback. He think he can get you with, you know, pay you back, give you a couple dollars, make your bank account fat, and everything will be okay. The Lord don't require that. He requires his blood. So that's the real way he gonna get paid back for all the death and destruction that he's brought upon the whole earth. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 3, saith, and I'll read it again. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah. So now you know who the Lord's people are, Israel and Judah, not the whole world. As a matter of fact, let's grab a piece of precept on that. 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. Verse 54, and after these Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen, which are Israel. The people, we all come from Adam, right? Because we, you know, through Adam, then Noah, then Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So everyone descends back to Noah. So this is what Esdras is talking about. All this I have, it says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. So he's saying, Esdras understands that the world was made for Israel's sake. Okay, the true Israelites, not those false Israelites that, you know, they don't even call themselves Israelites because they know they're not. 2nd Esdras 6, verse 56, as for the other people are the rest of the heathen, which also come of Adam, you know, come from even different descendants of Shem, are heathen. You know, Moab's a so-called a Shemite. Ammon's a Shemite. Edom's a Shemite. They came even closer related than the rest of these Shemites. You know, Ishmael's a Shemite. You know, these are the other people. Okay, because through the seed, you know, like Isaac is counted for the promise. 2nd Esdras 6. Verse 56, as for the other people, which also come of Adam, that includes Hamites, Japheth, and their descendants, they also come of Adam. Thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So if you got water in a vessel and some water drop out of it, they're insignificant. They are nothing. That's what Ezra says. And he said before that the world was created for our sakes. So he understands who is who. Okay, he understands that the Lord is only dealing with the nation of Israel. And is he just making that up from the top of his head? He's actually reiterating Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter. And he's reiterating Isaiah, the 40th chapter. Let's go grab that real quick. Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. It says, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So there you go. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. Okay, when the Most High divided the nations. Okay, and that just shows you there's a division between, everyone ain't the same, man. Everyone's not equal. The Lord got a people that's greater than the rest of the people. Okay, and the nation of Israel is his inheritance. He found him in the desert land, Deuteronomy 32 and 10, and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about, talking about Jacob. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. So we understand who the Lord loves. He kept him as the apple of his eye, not them, him, which is talking about Jacob. Deuteronomy 32 and 11, as an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings, meaning he delivers them. Okay? Deuteronomy 32 and 12, so the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. So that's talking about Jacob. All right? And jump over to Isaiah, the 40th chapter. Isaiah 40. And Isaiah 40 and 14, it says, I'll start there. Actually, let's start at 12. Isaiah 40 and 12. Who have measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, and meted out heaven with the span, and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales and the hills in a balance. So who has all that knowledge? It's talking about the Most High God Yahweh. Who have directed the spirit of the Lord Yahweh, or being his counselor have taught him. Nobody taught the Most High God. You know, all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Isaiah 40 verse 14, with whom took he counsel, and who he instructed, and who instructed him, and taught him in the path of judgment, and taught him knowledge, and showed to him the way of understanding. That's what do you call it, a rhetorical question. Okay, you don't even have to answer the question because you know it's the Most High. Isaiah 40 verse 15, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. So the nations are as a drop of a bucket. So Isaiah's saying that, Ezra's saying that. So that's two witnesses right there. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, Isaiah 40 verse 16, for the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. So Lebanon, which is known for its food, is not sufficient to burn. You know, it's funny that it says that because they're actually getting bombed by those Israelis. They just killed a Hezbollah leader over there. But they're going to replace them with somebody else. That's not how their chain of command works. You knock one out, someone else steps into the position. All right? But it's saying that all the trees of Lebanon are not sufficient to burn, and with the different beasts for a burnt offering. The Lord ain't accepting the sacrifices of the heathen. Okay, they can burn all the trees down and all the beasts in the whole land, and the Lord ain't hearing that, man. So he's not dealing with them if he's not accepting their sacrifice. Isaiah 40 verse 17, all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. So they don't get any clearer than that. All right. Back to Jeremiah 30 verse 3, for lo, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. Okay, and they shall possess it. Now you might think, well, they're already over there, but this says Israel and Judah, not just Judah. Okay, so Israel's the other 10 tribes. So that's not prophecy being fulfilled over there in the land today. But it is prophecy being fulfilled with them being in the land because of Luke 21, verse 24. Okay, they're supposed to be there for this time, to bring forth Jeremiah 49 and 20, Joel 2 and 20, and so Babylon can be destroyed. Let me grab that in the book of Luke 21 and verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, which are you damn heathen small hats, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. It's not even just them. You got Ethiopians over there. Ethiopians, they think they're next to rule. You let them tell it. Oh, we got the Ark of the Covenant. We're God's chosen people, and they pray to the so-called white man. A skinny black-ass Hamite is praying to the soul. Hey, all praises, my man. How you doing, my man? I'm good. I'm good. Y'all making some money today?
Yeah.
Hey, that's good. How much money you making?
Today we just started today, but yesterday we made some good money.
So what y'all about to do now? Is that your brother?
Yeah.
Cause he look just like you.
Yeah.
Did you tell him he's Israel? No.
Yeah.
Look at this right here, my man.
I did.
You did tell him? He told you that you were an Israelite? Hey, all praises to Yahweh Jimmy Shop. What about my man over here?
I got a question though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shit, bro. What is the thing against the white man?
The white man?
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as a white man. That's number one. So this is a social construct that people created to make this false claim that white and black people hate each other. There's no such thing as a white and black man. My hair is black and my skin is brown. Okay, so there's a construct there.
Yeah, that's just color, bro. We're both people at that.
So now that we take color out, now what does that leave us? Now it's just brown.
People.
Brown, exactly.
People.
Now, according to the Bible, the so-called white man goes back to a nation called Edom in the Bible, and we go back to Israel. Now we're brothers, and you read. But what happened was the Lord kept enmity between us because we have His birthright. So enmity means we're enemies because when you read Genesis, the 25th chapter, Jacob, who we descend from,
Can you show me?
Israel, yeah, it's okay. Let's go over there. Genesis 20. This is the problem. So it's not about race. It's really about our blessing. We're blessed, and He's not. It's like an antagonist and protagonist situation. Okay. Genesis 25 in verse 20. I'll start at 23. And the Lord said unto her. Actually, let's start up a little bit. Genesis 20, 25 and 21, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife. So Isaac, we descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, so this is Isaac. All right, this is the father of the so-called white man and the so-called black man. All right. It says, entreated the Lord for his wife, which is Rebekah, because she was barren, meaning she didn't have any kids. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. So now she's conceived. She got kids, right? Or she's pregnant. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so,
I gotta go.
Why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there was twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So he's red. Back to Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 4. And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. So this is the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. Okay? This is back to going into Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30 and verse number 5. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. That voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace are the prophecies of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Okay, so a lot of people understand, not a lot of people, the prophets understood. They're all talking about a day where of great destruction. Okay, they're all talking about a day that the Lord's going to show you His vengeance. He's going to redeem His elect. He's going to bring back the captivity of His people. He's going to bring them back into a land. This is all prophesied. You can read about that in Ezekiel. You can read about that in Isaiah. You can read about that in Jeremiah. In different parts of Zechariah, Zephaniah. So all the prophets were describing a day of destruction, a day of wrath. Okay, we've never seen that wrath yet. All right, but that's what we're gonna see. That's the anger of the Lord. Now he showed you a little bit of it in ancient Egypt when he destroyed Pharaoh and he delivered the nation of Israel. But compared to what he's gonna show this time, is nothing that could be compared to it. Okay, this is gonna be talked about for all generations. So he's gonna really get his name out there with this destruction that he got coming for this place. That's why he's revealing all of these different things, man. You know, these the latest thing is the Epstein files, and after that it'll be more shit. Okay. So that's what it's talking about. Jeremiah chapter 30 and 5 again. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear and not of peace. Okay, of fear and not of peace. They also prophesied about World War III, famines, pestilence. That's not a peaceful time, man. Okay, it's inflation. John the Revelator talked about that. Okay, so that's not a peace. If you think there's peace coming, then you clearly are either blind and deaf, and you can't hear or see anything, and you're walking around like a groping in noonday, like the scripture said. Okay, because you got to be living under a damn rock to not see that this place is not getting any better, man. Okay, it's not. This nigga's meddling in other people's countries, in your neighbor's country. He's meddling in everyone's shit, man. Venezuela, Cuba. All right, and eventually it's gonna come to an end because these different nations are gonna shoot nukes on this place. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child, like a man that's pregnant with a baby. Okay? It says, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, so in pain. Okay? Because everyone's going to be in pain for the calamities that the Lord's going to bring upon Babylon the Great, which is America. As a woman in travail, like a woman that's pregnant, and all faces are turned into paleness. When your face is turned into paleness, it's like you've seen a ghost, man. Okay? It's like you're dead. You look dead, man. You look like you don't have any hope. You look like that's what the paleness represents. Okay? You're confounded. You're ashamed. You don't know what to do. Okay, it's like a form of it's describing someone who's pretty much done. He sees that this is it. All right, we kind of got a glimpse of that during the vid in 2019. We thought that was pretty much it. That's why y'all were running to try to seek some form of salvation, but it wasn't no form of salvation. You were in paleness, and some of y'all, after y'all took the jab, you look pretty dead to me. You ain't look the same since. But when these judgments start to be executed, you're gonna start to feel the same way, because you're gonna feel condemned in your spirit because you haven't been serving the Lord. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse number 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So Jacob, the elect of Israel, they're gonna be saved out of this destruction that's coming. But he said that day is great. Okay, see, that day is great, meaning there's none like it. Okay, when all these calamities come to pass. Now, we don't know detail for detail everything that's happening. We try to prepare ourselves for this in the best that we can. Ezra even said, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? So he saw something that made him say that. And he's part of the elect. So that's the type of fear that people are gonna have. That's the type of fear that people are going to have in these last days. Okay, they're going to be afraid of pretty much making it through the troubling times. Jacob's trouble is right around the corner. That's why brothers are doing multiple videos. They're showing you. I was just watching the Apostle Sahar. He was doing a video on a brother in Detroit, GMS Inquiry. And what is he talking about? He's talking about prophecy. He's talking about inflation. He's talking about how you women, you independent women that are out there, you're not going to be able to keep up that image much longer. That pride. The Lord's breaking that pride with you women, man. And you're starting to realize what? You need a man. And not just any man. You need a man of the Lord. All right? And you got to humble yourself down, because a man of the Lord don't want none of you proud ass women out there. All that cute shit, that shit don't work with me. And I know it don't work for a lot of other people too. It's not working. It's not that cute shit is only gonna get you so. You look expensive. You look like something unsustainable. You look stupid. A lot of y'all got Brazilian butt lifts and shit like that. Nobody want no woman like that, man. That shit don't even look right. You know, so the Lord's confounding you. So that's showing you that, you know, you need a man of the Lord. Especially as these times start to come to pass. It tells you in Isaiah 4:1 that 7 women shall take hold of one man. But when you read Isaiah the 3rd chapter, it tells you why. Because first of all, there's going to be wars kicking off. Men are going to be, there ain't going to be too many men. And then out of the men that you do have, a lot of them going to be doing all types of evil, man. You're going to want a man of the Lord, like I said. Why? Because the Lord's going to have favor on that man. He's going to be guiding him with divine inspiration and bringing him to peace. It tells you in the scriptures that mark the perfect man, because the end of that man is peace. Let's grab that precept. How you doing today, man? You doing good? She's sick. This lady be talking to herself. One time, she told me that, just randomly came up to me and said she found a human hand around the corner or something. She probably ate that motherfucker. She's probably out of her mind for eating all that damn human meat. Psalms chapter 34, and I think it's 34. Psalm 34, and it might be 37 as a matter of fact. Where is that precept? Mark the perfect man. Psalm 37 and verse 37. It says, mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. So what that's saying is, when you mark the perfect man, is you got to watch the perfect man. In the eyes of the Lord, who's a perfect man? Someone who's doing his will down here on the earth. That's a man of the Lord. Okay, those who you believe that are they have the characteristics of what the Lord would be dealing with in these last days, because no one knows who is who. You could be in this truth 30, 40 years and the Lord give you a reprobate spirit, and then you back in the world. So we really don't know who the elect is. We just hope that we're a part of that number, because we know they're going to have divine protection. Okay, divine protection is better than any weapon that you can have. But they will be exhibiting fruit of the Spirit, you know, having this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, knowing the names of the Lord, walking uprightly, you know, doing the best that they can, until the Lord is the one exalting them in the last anyways. I'm done with Genesis 25. This is the book of Jeremiah 30. In verse, hey, at least he told his brother that that's Jake, but a lot of people get offended when you talk about the so-called white man, because there's no such thing as white people and black people. That's what the so-called white man created to try to so the small hat Jew can rule over you. All right, so you know that, so it's a social construct our people can't get across, man. They want to protect something that doesn't even exist. That's what's crazy about it all. You know, you start thinking about white people, you start thinking all this, you know, like it's a racist. That shit that's nothing. It's because of Jacob and Esau, he couldn't even get, the Lord didn't reject him. Jeremiah 6:30. And that's Matthew the 13th chapter playing out right in front of people's faces. When you're trying to sow that word, then the devil come and sift what you gave to him. You know, but you know that's just how it is, man. That's what the Lord ain't dealing with. Probably because who knows why the Lord ain't dealing with him. Not everybody's part of that number. Jeremiah chapter 30 And 7 again, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So that he is talking about the elect of Israel. This Jacob's trouble is the calamities that the Lord's bringing upon Babylon the Great and throughout the whole world. You know, these different worlds, wherever Jake is, you're going to go through it, man. This is a worldwide event. Everyone's going to partake in not being able to eat, having to fight, having to do whatever you got to do. But, you know, the Lord is going to be giving us that, he's going to be giving us the rite of passage, so to speak. That our path that we take is divinely inspired by the Lord. So where we go, and some of us going to have multiple women and all of that, man. It's going to be, who knows how that's going to play out. A lot of us are going to go into prison. Some of us are going to go to prison and get out of there too. Some of us are going to go in there and not get out of there. Okay? It is what it is, but no matter what the Lord puts us through, hey man, he's going to get glorified with his elect. All right? They're not going to take that chip. They're going to get the victory, and if they do get put to death, they're going to be in a chariot. Okay? Ready to respawn and come destroy this nigga. Okay? Going through the crowning ceremony. So getting the victory is the most important thing, because you're going to die anyways, one way or the other. Why not go out in a way that glorifies the Lord? That's an honorable death. Instead of going to the doctor asking him for all different types of medication so he can slowly put you to death and get paid off of your death. Like Mr. Vanderbeek, dead at 48. He should have just not even gone to the hospital, man. He should have just thugged that out. You probably would have still been here surviving. Okay, eating all this shit, man. We all got something wrong with us, and it's up to the Lord. The Lord gives us life every day, gives us strength every day to do what we do, and that's why you thank Him that He gives us the power to even get up in the morning, because your strength that you have, it ain't guaranteed. It definitely ain't guaranteed. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 8. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. So we're not going to be serving the so-called white man anymore. That these young men love so damn much. They're going to put these little niggas to death. Put chips in their heads and shit. You worried about the wrong thing, man. That yoke is being broken with this truth, and it's going to eventually be broken with his kingdom being destroyed. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 9. But they shall serve the Lord their God, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. And he already came through the form of King Mashah, according to GMS. So, you know, people calling themselves King David today, you got to be aware of that too. You know, some people think they're actually King David. So you got to watch out for that, man. All right? Some people still think another King David's going to get, there's a lot of different doctrines out there, man. That another King David's going to get risen up. I even heard to the extent that, you know, some people believe that Apostle Tahar is King David. You know? So you got to watch out for that, man. Because, you know, that's why you gotta choose who your teachers are, man. You start listening to too many teachers. That's why I try to always give. This nigga ain't even clean the top of his car. Fucking Haitian, man. That's some Haitian shit right there. You clean everything else, you let it fall to the front of your car, then you drive like a dumbass on the road. But anyways, you know, back to King David being their king. That's going to be in the kingdom too, but he already raised up, man. The house of David's being raised up. And, you know, just follow the apostles and elders on down from Great Millstone. That's all you got to do. That's it. It's not really hard to do, man. They've been doing this work 40, 50 years, man. I don't know how long, maybe 60 years. You know, I can't imagine doing this work for all that time, man. And they love doing the work, man. That's perfect, man. That's the spirit you want to see. If the Lord keeping the spirit on you for a long time, and you ain't just, and that's another thing. They don't have any women. The men that got women, they don't work like that. They can't. They can't. Not all of them. It's very rare that men who got women, they working like Apostle Tahar. Men who have houses, they working like that. Nah, they can't work like that. That's how you know that shit got a spirit to it. You know, but I do see some elders that got all of that and they go very hard. And that's another perfect spirit. So the Lord got examples of certain, for every type of situation you could be in, performing his work at a very high level. There's no excuse. Okay, but there's the elect of the Most High, and then there's the remnant, okay, which are the elect too. But ultimately, all Israel is I can't say they're the elect, but they're chosen, I should say. But then there's within the nation of Israel, there's the elect of the Most High, which are your King Davids, your the 12 apostles, and then the 144,000. You know, those are some elite men, man. Now they're not all described in the Bible, but they were there in the beginning, and they helped create. The Lord created. These are the first spirits ever created. So while, of course, they would have more of the dose of the Spirit to go seek the Lord. You know, they got a more of a heavy dose of the Spirit because they're like miniature saviors, so to speak. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 30, in verse number 8. Again, for it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. But they shall serve the Lord their God, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Okay. Now, some people, another thing people think that is, they think that's talking about Yahweh Shai. That's King David and Yahweh Shai are two different people, man. There's a precept somewhere in Ezekiel, I think it's the 36th chapter. It pretty much reiterates this right here. And the Christian pastor will tell you that's talking about the Lord. That's not talking about the Lord, man. King David's still the king, man. He's still the king of the house of David. All right, and he's gonna be a king too when we get in the kingdom. Okay, but under Yahweh Shai. All right, we're gonna know the details once we get in there. But it's not King David's not the Lord, man. All right, so don't let nobody deceive you like that. That's some shit that the so-called white man like to teach. But like I said, he don't know the Bible. He don't know the Lord. He believes in the so-called. He believes in himself. That's why he prays. He pretty much prays to himself. That's what that image represents to him. That's him self-exalting himself like a damn devil. He don't need any. He's already proud as hell, man. He's done. Now he gets the shameful spewing of being a homosexual, being a pedophile, being a child molester, being a cannibal. How you doing? Being the abomination of the earth. That's what he is. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 10. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. So once we go back into the land, none shall make us afraid, meaning we're not going back into captivity again. Okay, we're going to be empowered. We're going to be protected. That's salvation. That's a perpetual salvation, not temporary 40 years of peace, then break the laws again. Then the Lord sets up a heathen nation to come up against you. And then you got to go into captivity under them to learn your lesson. Then you start crying out to the Lord all over again. Then he raises up a savior, the prophets, and they preach to you and tell you to repent. And he comes and destroys that nation and then brings you back into the land again. That's a wrap. Now he's going to change us so we can never go off again. We're going to be righteous perpetually, meaning we're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments written in our inward parts. We don't need to come out here and teach our people who they are anymore. And it's like talking to a damn wall. Okay. because they're so damn destroyed. And then when you talk to them, they go run down the damn street and do something, some more vanity. Couldn't wait for a couple of verses you asked, and then, but like I said, Matthew the 13th chapter, always playing out. Jeremiah 30, verse 11. For I am with thee, saith the Lord Yahweh, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. That's right, he'll correct you in measure. He's not doing that with the so-called white man. He allows him to run amok, gets super proud, and then he gets destroyed in front of everybody. It's going to be a public execution. The whole world, it's going to be a global execution that the Lord's going to show the whole world who he ain't dealing with thermonuclear destruction from all these different nations, including his own people. But those who shoot nukes on him in Europe, you going into slavery too. They're doing the same shit. That's why you're hearing about Mandela or whatever the hell. They called him Lord Mandela. They calling themselves Lord with a capital L. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that, man. Dude selling secret government information to Epstein. Who do you think Epstein's working for? He's working for the small hats. So now the Europeans are compromised, and that's why you're hearing all this shit. And look who Duck's working with. He's probably giving them all types of information. He's probably going to give you people's personal information too, so Israel can spy on you. Call you all types of Shemites. You all right, my man? You need help? Watch out, there's a bus behind you. Niggas on one of those seats with, our people are dumb as fuck now, I'm telling you. Jeremiah chapter 30. In verse 11 in the middle, but I will correct thee in measure and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. So he's correcting us in measure. You know, you correct your son like it tells you in Hebrews, the 12th chapter. Or is it Hebrews? I think it's 12. Hebrews 12 and verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons? That's right. Are ye bastards and not sons if you ain't taking his chastisement? See, Esau's a bastard. That's why the Lord ain't beating him like that. He wants him to continue to transgress his laws so he can destroy him. But with the nation of Israel, he's every single day, every bill that comes up, that's chastisement from the Lord. Every thought that comes in your head, how am I going to do this and do that? And how am I going to make it? How am I going to feed this and that? That's chastisement from the Lord. Okay, you got to endure all these things because he's dealing with you like a son. He wants you to constantly not be at rest at this place and know that you need him. But with Esau, he don't do that. He makes him kick his feet up, commit all sin, got him eating human meat, drinking blood. Hey, he's living his best life. That's what evil does to you if the Lord don't chastise you. That's what you end up being. You become an Edomite. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 9, verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Yeah, bastards dwelling in Ashdod. That's in Israel. Because the Lord ain't dealing with him. That's why he's trying to build a third temple. Nigga, where the third temple, you stupid nigga? But he don't understand that. He's doing a animal sacrifice still. Because he don't believe in the Lord. So that's another token showing you that he ain't Jacob. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse number 8 again. But if ye be without chastisement, whereof are all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. That's right, and that's what he is. Maduro called not a Jew. I think he called him a bastard from Poland. That's what he is. And then Mike Huckabee said he has no descendants that are from Israel, that he's from Poland too. So look at that. Maduro wasn't lying. Maduro was doing his research. And Maduro knew he was Israel. Now, he was a little confused. I don't think he knew the whole truth, but I think, being in prison, Shit, who knows? Who knows, man? Maybe he can get the truth. Maybe he can get the victory in these last days. He just ain't got to take the chip. He can still repent. Him and his wife. Maybe he brought him over here to be delivered, like it tells you in Micah 4, verse 10. Let me grab that. That's what Babylon is, man. Some of us are here to be destroyed. A lot of us are. But some of us are here to be delivered. Let me grab this in Micah 4, verse 10. The Lord said he was going to do that to his people. Micah chapter 4, verse 10. It says, be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field. And thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. So, hey, maybe Micah 4:10 is playing a part in his life. Maybe that's why he got sent over here. It's either for his salvation or for his destruction. It's one of the two. All right? And that's what we're going to be seeing in these last days. So the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, in verse number 12. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicines. And that's talking about you Israelites. Okay? You just been destroyed. And none has been able to bound you up, or, kind of heal you. Because the only thing that can heal you is this word. And if that don't heal you, man, you're going to continue to be going the wrong way until you be destroyed. It's a spiritual disease not having this truth. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 14. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. All thy lovers are these other heathen nations. We were at peace with them for 40 years. We made a covenant with Tyre. Where are they at? Where they at? Where's your lovers? Where's your allies you had now that you down low in your captivity? Where are they? Hey, come over here to us. Come to this land. Leave America. There's none of that. Look at the Africans. They don't give a fuck about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But yet you love Africa so damn much. And then look at the Latino countries, man. The Latino countries are a fucking abomination. Okay? Niggas are just, look what's going on in Mexico. They got a whole small hat woman president running their country and running the fucking muck, listening to a foreign government. You gotta be out of your damn mind. And that's why those other cartel groups are trained up the way they are, because they understand how corrupt it really is. You might think they're the corrupted ones, and it be really the government. That's why they go on a war with them niggas like that. And the duck's gonna sit back, let y'all destroy each other, and once you done killing all each other, right? They can come in and start buying land, and more Edomites can go gentrify that place over there. That's why I think they're gonna start coming up here to America and start doing some shit up here, because why sit there and kill your own people? Or how many times you gonna fall for the same bait? They might as well just come up here and just start slaughtering you niggas all over the place, man. Fuck it. You're gonna turn our country into a bunch of damn homosexuals anyways. Why don't we just stop putting people to death now? That's what I think. This is Jacob's trouble, man. All that, and then what's gonna happen then? All these different groups. This place is already, it shows you how fragile a democracy actually is. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 14, all thy lovers have forgotten thee, they seek thee not. Yeah, they seek thee not, they ain't looking for you. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. So I have wounded thee with a wound of the enemy. Okay, the Lord wounded the nation of Israel. Okay, he has wounded thee. It tells you in Isaiah 47, he's given you into the hand of your enemies. All right? With the wound of an enemy. So he's the one who fucked you up. You might give all the credit to the so-called white man, but he's really just a tool, like it tells you in Psalms, the 17th chapter. Let me grab that real quick, as a matter of fact. Niggas a tool. 17. I think it is Psalm 17 and verse 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So Esau is the Lord's sword. From men which are thy hand. See, the left hand. From men which are thy hand. So that's who the Lord is using to bring forth judgment upon the nation of Israel. O Lord Yahweh, from men of the world. So they're men of the world, of this world, Esau's world. Okay. Which have their portion in this life. That's Esau. He has his portion in this life. He's going through his blessings in Genesis, the 25th chapter. Actually, 27th chapter, where he gets the fatness of the earth. And whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. His belly with thy hid treasure ultimately is us. We're the lost tribes of Israel. We're hidden in the belly of the beast, which is here in Babylon, America, which is the beast in the Rome 2.0. Okay, that's talking about us. They are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. So they continue to, pass their generational wealth down. They continue to be in power, and they continue to keep you oppressed and not having any type of generational wealth or inheritance being passed down to your people. As for me, and you can see that with these different rappers. You can see that with all different types of, celebrities and shit. They get all this money, and then by the time they're broke, the family can't pay that big ass house that you got. You got to pay taxes on your inheritance that he passes down. And then somewhere down the line, you end up losing it. It don't take that long. You lose that wealth. As a matter of fact, that just reminded me of Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 15. Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me. And this is King Solomon. And why was I then more wise? Then I had said in my heart that this also was vanity. For there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever. Seeing that which now is in the days to come shall all be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man? As the fool. Yeah, the wise man and the fool they both die. Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me. For all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That's right. All is vanity and vexation of spirit. You spend your whole life working for something that's going to end up being given to somebody else. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 18. Yea, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. That's right. I should leave it to the man that shall be after me. And now we know who we left it to. We left it to Rehoboam. Okay, and what did he do? He split up the kingdom. The kingdom was lost after King Solomon. And that's what happens with majority of you Israelites. Same thing. He passed them down everything, and he couldn't maintain it. As a matter of fact, he fucked it up. Ultimately, it was the Lord that took it away from him. Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 19. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yeah, whoever owns what you have after you die, who knows if he's going to be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have showed myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. So it's also vanity, man. So that just goes to show you that, even if you do get rich, even at the highest level, and you become like a King Solomon, man, it's all vanity. Okay, we need to be changed, because you're going to die anyways, and it's going to go to somebody else. That's why we need the Lord. Okay, that's where our ultimate rest is. It comes from Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Okay, Jeremiah 30 and 14 again. All thy lovers have forgotten thee, they seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for a multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. So your sins were increasing. Just like Esau's sins are increasing. Now, he's increasing, it's much more within him, because the Lord ain't judges that. tells you in Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the sons of men are fully set in them to do evil. Okay, so because you're not being judged, that's why you just continue to be wicked. And that's where Esau is. And he has no, how you doing today, my man? You have a blessed day. Okay? Shalom, you an Israelite. Okay? God loves you. He wants you to repent. All right? Right? He's looking for you, man. God he told me to tell you from Africa?
Africa, yeah.
Oh, what part of Africa are you from?
Like too much, like
What part of Africa are you from?
Sudan.
Sudan?
Yeah.
What's that, Eastern Africa?
No, Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, you look like a Jake, man. You could be an Israelite. Who knows? You read the Bible? You read the Bible?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my man. Well, you have a blessed day.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Jeremiah chapter 30. Who knows? Might be Israel. You look just like me. Yeah, you look just like me, man. Jeremiah chapter 30. And in verse 15, why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. That's right. He put you in captivity. The Lord's done these things unto us. So this is why we crying out to him. Hopefully he can deliver us. Not hopefully that he can. Hopefully he will deliver us in his last days. You know he can. He's proven that multiple times. But we hope that, we are part of that number and we're worthy of being saved too in these last days. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So there you go. All of our enemies, the ones we were in captivity to, they're going to be given for a prey. Okay? They're going into captivity. All right? So that's their judgment. So that Jacob's trouble is leading to our salvation, and it's also leading to their destruction, and then them going into captivity. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 17, for I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. That's right. So this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. But then the Lord gave us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to go teach and build ourselves up for these last days. Okay, that's what the whole point of this ministry is. It's to build up our faith. So when we're faced with these different calamities and things like that, we're not unstable like everybody else. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse number 18. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places, and the city shall be builded upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. So bring again the captivity doesn't mean he's going to put you into slavery again. Bringing it again is to restore it. When you look into the blue letter Bible, okay. So when you read, you can't read this word verbatim and think, oh shit, the Israelites going back into slavery. Then that means the Chinaman's going to be in power, and that's not what it means. Okay, it means to restore. Jeremiah 30, verse 19, and out of them shall proceed thanksgiving and the voice of them that make merry. And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. So that's talking about the nation of Israel. Okay, them. We're going to glorify them, not everybody that goes to church on Sunday. All right? That's talking about his elect. And the whole nation. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 20. Their children also shall be aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me. And I will punish all that oppress them. That's right, all that oppress who? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and the speckled birds that are out there. Wherever his children are scattered abroad. Okay, he's going to oppress your oppressors. Okay, with judgment and slavery. Slavery's it's coming back, man. But the slave gonna look a little bit different. You know, a lot of us look at us like slaves. We are slaves. But that image is gonna be changed because we, in the grand scheme of things, we weren't in slavery that long. But you got 1,000 years, and then you got a death sentence at the end of that. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse number 21. And their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them. And I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. For who is this that engaged his heart to approach unto me, saith the Lord? So we know our nobles are of themselves. So that's talking about us, not our nobles are from these different nations right now. Okay? Our nobles are your leaders. Okay? So our leaders are going to be ourselves. They're not going to be taking counsel looking for, another heathen to rule over us. All right? Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 22. And ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. So ye shall be my people, and I'll be your God. It tells you in Hosea 1 and 10. Let's go there real quick. Hosea 1 and 10. Because he forsook us for a while, but now he's showing that he's dealing with us again. Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. So that's where this is the place, which is Babylon the Great America. All right? This is where you're going to know who the children of God are. And it starts with this truth, and you can receive the truth. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse number 23. Behold, the whirlwind of the Lord Yahweh goeth forth with fury, a continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. There you go. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. So these thermonuclear missiles, that's where the real pain is coming from. Okay? It tells you, my sword shall be bathed in heaven, and yet it shall fall upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judge it. So that's talking about Esau and Edom. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse number 24. The fierce anger of the Lord Yahweh shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it. In the latter days, talking about the last days, you shall consider it. So you're going to see it, and we're already getting to that point that you can see how or why this place will be hit with thermonuclear missiles. So I'm going to end it here. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Achakwadash, Shalom, Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharallah. I'm an Israelite.